Hi, I'm Bob Kraus. I'm president of the Veterans National Recovery Center, and this video is the first of a series we will be doing on mental health issues and discharges from the military. It's no secret that there are problems out there. I'm pulling up an article from The Guardian, which is a news site, and they talk about a lady who was raped in the Navy and then somehow wound up being discharged on a personality disorder. There are quite a few stories around it. And so today I'm going to talk to Nicole Dawson, Airman First Class Dawson, who was not raped in the military, but nevertheless was discharged, and she had a stellar record. And let's take a look at that stellar record we had here. This is Nicole. Can you say a little bit about yourself, Nicole?
I'm 26 years old. I am a resident of Iowa, and I'm still an EMT to this day, serving my community as an EMT.
Okay. And you joined the service on March 2014, it says here.
Yes.
And why did you join?
I joined because I thought it was a calling from God.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in school, I had a full ride, and I put school on hold and joined the military because I wanted to help my country and see what God had in store for me.
And on your enlistment packet, there were no psychological issues?
No.
None. Zero. Who said? Nothing.
No.
No psychological issues noticed. And things went pretty good for you. It looks like you completed your MET TC. Now, what was that?
The METC is a training facility, so it'd be like our tech school, and that's where I got trained as an EMT and did some nursing skills.
Okay. And you made the dean's list. I think they say top 10%. You say it was actually the top 3% of your class?
Yes.
About how many kids? Or students, young adults?
Probably over 100 and something.
Over 100. So you were right at the top. You made the dean's list. And then you got a letter of commendation about a year later. And then about the same time, you got a volunteer for the first quarter for the base that you did fundraising. The commander liked your performance so much on a different task that he coined you, which in the military that is a big deal, especially for a junior enlisted to get a coin. That's very unusual. And then you were also the PT, physical training leader
of my unit.
Of your unit, and you scored 96.2% out of 100 on the PT test, and you were promoted to Airman First Class on February 2017.
Yes, 2017.
2017, and then when were you discharged?
2 weeks later.
2 weeks later, on March 2017. Now that's quite a climb up a long mountain, and then a steep drop at the end. And there's got to be a story there. Now, can you tell us a little bit about the beginnings of this? Because we're talking about psychological problems, we're talking about discharges. When did you walk in the door to receive counseling? Was it voluntary? Was it involuntary? What happened?
I voluntarily went to mental health. It took a little bit longer for me to go to mental health because of the stigma that mental health could ruin your career, so I was afraid to go.
Now, who told you that?
A captain in the United States Air Force.
Told you that it was a stigma if you went to mental health. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's a pretty big deal. Okay, continue.
So when I went to mental health, I went to a captain, and she informed me that I shouldn't be worried because it wasn't command directed, that I was trying to seek out help before it affected my career, and that they would do a reevaluation in a year and see where I'm at from there.
Now, why did you go? What happened in your personal life that caused you to feel that you needed counseling?
I lost 4 family members. I lost a cousin to suicide. I had a family member that was doing drugs, and I had a father that was a drug addict.
And then you had 4 grandparents that died too?
Yes.
All within about a 1.5 year window?
Yes.
Okay, so there was a lot going on in your personal life. And so you went for bereavement counseling? Okay. And then what happened?
Counseling went okay at first. It seemed like they sent me to an outpatient clinic called PHP, so it's partial hospitalization program at Touche Hospital near St. Louis, Missouri, where we did cognitive therapy for about a month, and I never was once. We had to go there for 5 days for a few hours, 5 days a week for a month, and I was never diagnosed, seeing them with a personality disorder during that time.
Okay, so but the only thing you did have was depression beforehand.
A little bit of anxiety,
okay.
Yes.
Anxiety, probably because of the grief, and what all happened outside the military, but something that would very directly and it would impact you hard, is what had happened.
Yes.
And anybody could have that. It could have been somebody that your family was in an auto accident and several of them died or something like that, but that's what happened to you and put you in this situation where you were trying to recover from the grief that you had. Now, when the doctor there, not even the doctor, the nurse practitioner, I believe, recommended you for Zoloft, is that correct? That happened almost immediately after the counseling, didn't it?
Yes.
Okay, within the first month.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's look at another little chart put together after discussion. And this is a list of what happened to you in terms of your actual symptoms. Okay, now, before you walked in the door, and you had depression that was caused by grief because of the death in the family. And then now they gave you Zoloft, and because it was a military doctor, you were required to follow that.
I have to take it.
You have to take it. And you had doses. Now, how long were you in counseling with Zoloft?
Probably a few months, like maybe with 8 months.
Yeah, from probably about at least March through March almost.
Almost a year.
Yeah, almost a year. And you started with the doses of 25 milligrams, and then it went to 50, then it went to 100, and then it went to 150, and then it went to 200. And that's from the bottom to the top. So it was intensive. Now you had these are the symptoms. So these are not just things that happened to you. These are identified as side effects that do occur to people that have Zoloft. This was not just out of the air. This was what we talked about and comparing it to the checklist of side effects that are known to be Zoloft induced. So you went from depression to elevated depression. Did that happen immediately, or was that later into the?
As the doses got higher.
As the doses got higher, your depression got worse. And you had mood swings. You did not have the mood swings before. Then you had mood swings, and that was as it got worse.
That just slowly progressed.
And then you had suicidal ideations. You thought about suicide.
That didn't happen until I hit about 150 to 200 milligrams.
150 to 200. You had paranoia.
Towards the end.
Towards the end again. Anxiety and panic attacks. Towards the end. Impaired concentration.
That was a
slow progression. Hot and cold flashes. Constant chest pains. In and out of the ER for that. Yeah, and so that was issue. Now, it would seem strange to me if I were a medical practitioner, which I am not, that somebody would walk in with one relatively treatable condition, and after I prescribed a drug, things started getting worse. And instead of taking you off that drug and going to a different drug, they kept increasing the dose.
And things would get worse during that time.
Yeah. Now, how were you meeting with this person that was doing the medical on you regularly, weekly?
Not weekly, every few weeks maybe.
Every few weeks. Who was paying attention to your symptoms as they were developing besides you?
Nobody.
Nobody was. So you were basically out there, take 2 Zoloft and call me in the morning kind of thing. Nobody was watching your mental deterioration, which was obviously caused by nothing other than Zoloft. Is that correct?
Yes. I mean, I would go to the doctor, but they said that there was nothing wrong with me, but it was just
Psychosomatic or something like that?
And then my command that I was knowing right.
And that probably contributed to other problems. So we got this situation where you've got a ramp up in what are legitimate psychiatric symptoms, and including muscle twitches. Now that would be like facial tics, or what would that be?
My eyes would like spasm, like my eyelids would like flicker,
Yeah.
and that was as my anxiety would get worse.
Mm-hmm. The nightmares, now did they come towards the end? Stomach cramps, when did that happen?
That was consistent.
And that was severe, as I understand.
Yes, I'd be missing work because of it.
Okay.
Saying that they were worse than period pains.
Yeah, and then and malaise and fatigue, those were pretty constant. And did you have to stay home for either malaise or fatigue? Or
Yes.
you did.
I just
Okay.
couldn't-
So you lost quite a bit of time at work because of the Zoloft-induced symptoms.
Yes.
But did the command at any point recognize this increase in symptoms?
I don't think so.
It doesn't show up on any documentation. Okay, even though we had all this. So that is, and there is part of the problem. Now we're going to continue this discussion, but you're looking at a situation where somebody was basically prescribed medication, psychiatric medications, on an unsupervised basis. Nobody was paying attention over nearly a year as her symptoms developed, and then she was kicked out of the Air Force because of it. And that is the beginning of a story of injustice. Nicole, can you tell me a little bit about Zoloft? You are kind of an expert at it because you've seen it from the bottom to top, at 200 milligrams. What do you know about it?
It's an antidepressant used for anxiety, depression, PTSD, and bipolar personality disorder.
Okay. Now, can you be deployed overseas if you're on Zoloft?
No.
You can't. But the military has lists of drugs that can be given to fight depression that are where the person is still deployable. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you know some of those drugs?
No, not by off the top of my head.
But there is a roster of those kinds of drugs.
Yes.
Yeah. And for some reason, they chose not to use those drugs. They used a drug that would make you non-deployable.
Yes.
Okay. And now since after you left the military, what did you do about your Zoloft?
I quit taking
You went cold turkey?
it. Yes.
How long did it take the symptoms to go away?
Probably about 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks, and you were gone, and you were back down to just your depression and some residual anxieties. Is that pretty much
I would
right?
say it was more severe depression and anxiety after being separated from the service. It wasn't where I
Okay.
started when I went to get help. It became worse.
Because there was a state of loss. You lost your family, and then you lost a job and with an organization that you loved.
Yes.
And so that was really, really painful.
And I was working at the job for a while after that. So.
Yeah. So you're kind of a walking wounded yet because of what you've been through. Would you say that?
Yes. I mean, I still have symptoms and constantly think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Get anxiety really bad when I talk about my
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. And in terms of, now you went on a different medication after you left the service. Is that correct?
Yes.
What
A year
was that?
after. Lexapro.
Lexapro. And can you tell me a little bit about that?
It's also an antidepressant. With the side effects, I have like little to 9.
Little to none
It's
side
actually
effects.
helped me a lot.
Okay. So you were on basically an unsupervised prescription where nobody was watching the effects, and you got very, 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 very sick because of it. You got off that drug. It cleaned you up, and then you went on a new drug that accomplished its missions without side effects. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you had to discover that yourself. The Air Force Medical Service could not do that for you.
Civilian practitioner helped me.
The civilian practitioner got that correct drug for you.
Yes.
Okay. And we will talk about this more in our next episode. Thanks so much. I'm Bob Krause, president of the Veterans National Recovery Center, and I'm with
Nicole Dawson.
and you're Senior Airman Dawson. And we will talk to you more at a later date.